Welcome to the Eudora Schools Foundation Deeper Dives, where we take a 30-minute glimpse at some of the amazing things happening at our Eudora schools. I'm Shanda Hurla, the Foundation's Executive Director, and we're offering deeper dives each Wednesday as a fantastic opportunity for our Foundation supporters and donors to learn the impact their dollars have made in our Eudora classrooms. This week, we're taking a deeper dive into innovation at Eudora High School and specifically looking at some of the classroom grants we awarded this year. And joining me today are Susan DeVoe, the high school WRAP worker, Eric Magette, the EHS science teacher, Melanie McQueen, our Spanish teacher, and MaryJo Swann, the EHS math teacher. Welcome to the four of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, before we dive deep into our teacher excellence grants and you guys telling me more about your grants in your classroom, I'd like for each of you guys to introduce yourselves and share with us, this is a fun question, share with us one thing that you have learned this year from one of your students. What is one thing your students taught you?
I'll go ahead and start. I'm MaryJo Swann. I learned so many things from my students, so this is a hard question, but I actually just learned a new calculator shortcut the other day from one of my students, so that's just kind of a fun thing that they are always keeping me on my toes with new things, but gosh, they've taught me everything from perseverance to just having fun every day, so.
That's awesome.
I'll go next. I'm Eric Magette. As you said, I teach science, primarily biology, but a little bit of chemistry here at the high school. And just last week, my students, as part of a video project that they were doing for another class, taught me how to drop the whoa. And I'm pretty good at it, if I do say so.
Okay, I really am not informed. Eric, you got it. What? Drop the whoa. Tell me.
I don't get it. It's a dance thing, and I had no idea what I'm doing, but they told me I did it close enough to work for their video, so.
So you were good enough.
So I'm good enough. That's in a lot of ways.
I'm writing this down. Drop the whoa so I can Google later.
Have fun with that.
Well, I think I'm going to jump in on this one because I'm Melanie McQueen. I teach Spanish 1 at the high school this year. And I'm just piggybacking on what MaryJo and Eric have both said, because I too this week learned how to drop the whoa. Again, I didn't know what was going on either, Eric, so maybe we can work on dropping the whoa together or something. But learned that from my 7th graders. And I did learn using a shortcut how to mute a site because the Quizlet music is kind of loud. So I've learned a tech thing like MaryJo. But I kind of went a little more serious with this. I think one thing I've learned this year from my kids is that don't count them out on anything. I might think, oh, the kids are going to be too shy to get up and do a certain activity, or they're not going to be interested. But through some perseverance this year, my kids, for one of our brain breaks on Fridays, we do a dance Friday and play a Hispanic song, and we do some Just Dance with it from the YouTube. And so my kids have had a lot of fun with that this year, and it's just a good brain break while still doing something with culture.
That's awesome.
My name is Susan DeVoe, and I am the WRAP worker. And since I am not in a classroom, more of what I learned from these students is perseverance. Just when I think they're ready to give up, quit, not to go forward again, not another step in this school, they surprise me and they're here the very next day.
That's the type of perseverance you want, right? That is awesome. They're incredible. So between dancing, perseverance, and learning shortcuts on calculators, we've got it covered. That's fantastic, guys. Thank you guys for sharing those and introducing yourselves. So as we begin to dive deep, I wanted to start off by giving our listeners a brief history of the teacher excellence grants that our foundation gives out each fall. And actually, the teacher excellence grants, our foundation started in 2006. And one of the first things they did to raise money was to have a golf tournament. And then what they wanted to do with those proceeds was to get that money back into the classroom, honor the ideas that our teachers have, the innovative ideas, things that they want to do and try out in their classroom. So that grant process actually started in 2008. And since 2008, we've been able, thanks to our community donors, been able to invest over $60,000 back into the Eudora classrooms through classroom grants. So that's kind of the history of it. Each year, we've continued to increase the amount of money that we have donated. And in recent years, we've done over $15,000 in 1 year. So that's pretty awesome, pretty exciting. But let's move forward, because I want to spend most of this time hearing from you guys and the things that you guys have been doing this year in your classroom. So Susan, I'm going to start with you, having you talk about your Women's Peer Mentor Book Club, and where you got the idea, what kind of experience made you come up with this grand idea, and just talking about it.
I would say where I got the idea was just when I first came to the school, because I had not worked in a school prior to this school year, and watching and hearing the girls talk to each other and about each other, be it in my office or just standing in the hallway and hearing conversations. I thought, wow, there's some room for improvement on perceptions and how to be nice to others in the high school here. So I thought, what would be a good way? And I had actually just read that book, and I thought, I wonder if this would fly in a high school, a book club. And that's where the idea came from. Just book clubs seemed to open conversations, and I was hopeful that it could bring different groups together to have more conversations and maybe understand each other a little more. So that's where it came from.
So, so you had this idea, you've heard these conversations in the hallways, and you were thinking, climate-wise, let's make a more positive climate. Let's get these female students in together, getting to know each other more, reading a book that's inspirational. And so tell me about how this all happened. What has your experience been like? What has it been like with students?
Well, I will say most of the learning that I have personally had is how to do that. And that comes from not knowing how to get it started with which students. So just collaborated with administration, and I had a couple names because not being in this school ever before, I did not know students. So I had administration, some other folks give some ideas of students and people who might be interested. One thing I definitely know now, that is not the best way to go about it. Probably I will say next year when I do it again would be to do it a